everyone, and welcome to Think Future. My name is Chris Calabucas, and once again, we're coming at you live from deep in the heart of Silicon Valley, California. We're talking innovation, startups, the future, not necessarily those, and not necessarily in that order. If you're watching on YouTube, smack that subscribe button and hit that bell so you can be notified when a new show comes online. And if you're listening on your favorite podcast service, please subscribe and please drop a note on Apple Podcasts. I greatly appreciate it. We have now entered, that's right, folks, we have now entered the age of AI crap. And you're probably thinking to yourself, what do you mean the age of AI crap, Chris? What are you talking about? Well, whenever there is a wholesale, huge democratization of anything that allows people to make it easier to create and distribute stuff, we always enter into this explosion of crap. I'll give an example. When blogs first came out, it was an easy way for just anybody to go online and write up their thoughts and publish it on the web. It went from a really kind of esoteric thing where I remember we were charging $1 million a day, or $1 million a day, $1 million a page to sell websites to FedEx. It went from a really esoteric thing to something that was super easy to do. We could very easily go online, create a blog, blogger.com is still around, and just put our thoughts out there. We could publish our thoughts. And when you took a tool like that and you democratized it to a point where almost anybody could just sign up and enter their thoughts, then you had a huge deluge of new content. Now, within this huge deluge of new content, you had people who wrote great content and you had people who wrote terrible content, crappy content. And that was the first one I can think of, but there's plenty of other examples. It's the same thing that happened when podcasting first started. When podcasting first started, even though it was a little technical for people to figure out how to do podcasting, it was the same kind of thing. Once people figured out how to do it, there was a deluge of crap and a few diamonds in the rough. And it was the same with YouTube. YouTube democratized videos. We went from nobody being able to create videos and distribute videos to a destination site where anybody could create a video and distribute a video, and it could be seen by literally the entire planet. Anybody who had an internet connection could see this video. Of course, we were far from those days with all of the algorithmic suppression and whatever else is going on YouTube. But there was a period of time right as YouTube was starting, and as well as other video sites. I'm not going to say that YouTube was the only video site. There were other video hosting sites that were out there that started around the same time. But we always have this happening. When a new tool is invented that allows people to generate content, any kind of content, good content, bad content, whatever. This, you could have, when YouTube first launched, you could have people with amazing singing voices who've never been heard of in their entire lives, living in some village somewhere, cut off from the rest of the planet, but having to have an internet connection, being able to create a video of them singing and posting it online and getting millions of views. Unenhanced views, but millions of views because the democratization allowed that individual to create a video and post it somewhere where people could see it. Now, in that video, and if you think about, I don't know if you've ever seen the, is it Ugandan or whatever? It's like Ugandan action movies. I forget. Some guy did a video, cheesy video for his village. Somebody posted online. It got 1 million views because it was amazing. It was amazingly schlocky and horrible when it comes to CGI, but it was a riot watching this thing. So there's good stuff that's out there, and there's bad stuff that's out there, and there's stuff that's bad but is still snapped up anyway because it's virally interesting. So every time we have some kind of breakthrough or some kind of new distribution channel, we have the exact same thing happening. We have a onslaught, a huge amount of content just being flooded into this thing, whether it was blogs or podcasts or videos. And then we have a sort of a vetting mechanism where there's so much junk out there, we need to have something to sort through the junk and decide what's good and what isn't good. And so far we've had search engines and YouTube and other sites like that trying to figure out what's good and what isn't good. And of course at the same time they've added their own particular rules because they are sort of corporations that need to make money, so they need to show some videos more than others, etc., etc., etc. So we are now in the middle of that again. We are in an era where ChatGPT, which came out, only a few months ago, 5 or 6 months ago, not even that, ChatGPT 3, which was allowed, and now it's been opened up to everybody, that we have tools that will allow people to, with a few small prompts or a little bit of information, create new websites, create new videos, create new blogs. In fact, one of the hottest videos on YouTube right now is a video which teaches you step by step how to create a AI-based faceless video which can be monetized and make $10,000 a month plus. And I thought to myself, yeah, but how long is that going to last? And is it real? I've come to the conclusion that 99% of the stuff that I see on the internet is real or is unreal or has been fabricated in some way or another. Where's the truth? That's a thing for another time. If this was an actual Startup Monday, I'd be talking to you about how do we determine the truth of things. And that is a tough nut to crack, and we can talk about it over time in a series of shows, because I think we've stepped so far away from the truth that everything you see on the internet, everything you see in front of you may not be real. May not be real. And in fact, is more likely to not be real than it is to be real. Do you remember the example I gave you on Friday about creating fake comments and creating fake users and creating fake views and creating fake this and creating fake that? And it seems to me now that something like that has become table stakes for the internet, because unless you have that foundation of fake followers, I mean, it came out the other day that Joe Biden had half of his followers were fake. So what can you believe? How can you believe anything with all of these revelations coming forward that say that most of what we know is not real? We're seeing a fabrication of reality. But I digress. What I was talking about was the pile of crap that's always generated whenever a new medium, a new distribution method comes out. So now you've got people using ChatGPT and AutoGPT to create websites, to do this, to do that, create videos, etc. And we're going to see a huge flood of crap being pushed out onto the internet. And the interesting thing about this is that what we're seeing here is not a new distribution method like we saw with blogs and with podcasts and with videos, with YouTube. Those are distribution methods: text, audio, video. Those are distribution methods and sites. What we're seeing now is the ability for AI to create each of those things without a lot of effort on the part of a regular person. Now, when it comes to blogs and podcasts and videos, if they're good quality, or they're virally interesting, then they'll spread. People will watch them. But those are almost all created by people. People create these things. And now we've come to the moment where people can use ChatGPT to create these things. And basically what's happening is that ChatGPT is allowing us to create both text and podcast, or text video and video content in such a huge new volume that it's going to be almost impossible to tell what's good and what isn't good. In fact, look at the whole chatter about ChatGPT. I think I just noticed on Google Trends that it had gone up 24,000% in a week. But if you think about it, and I said this before, I started writing a new novel using ChatGPT, and I have basically discarded it in assisting me with anything other than sort of a basest kind of research, because it cannot write. It doesn't have the creativity. Everything that it creates is rote. It doesn't do anything new and different and interesting. And that's where I think maybe this giant wave of content is actually going to fall apart, because we're going to build, and I'm starting to see this now, we're going to build things that can detect if something has been generated by AI, because people who want to just create stuff and get it out there and make money, they don't really want to spend a lot of time doing it. They want to move on to the next thing. They want to sit on their yachts in the Caribbean, seeing the money just flow in with their passive income deals. Problem is, some of that stuff isn't going to bring you anything. And almost everything you see out there is a lie. You know how easy it is to fake a bank account to make your statement online look like it's higher than it is? You know how easy it is to add zeros or other numbers to your bank balance when you inspect the HTML on your web page? We can't believe anything anymore, folks. Everything, if you ask me, is suspect. And maybe there's some way we can actually get to the truth at some point. But I think right now we're in the middle of a huge wave of new content that's going to be generated by ChatGPT, and 90% of it is going to be fake and crap. So watch out, folks. And if you're a startup founder interested in building something new, if you could build something that would help us wade through all of this junk faster than Google can, then I want to see that. That's it for me for today. See you next time, and until then, don't forget to think future.